It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. In this episode, we have the one and only Dr. Darlene. She's in the building, and she'll be talking about the Freedom Blueprint, building spiritual, relational, and financial wealth. Financial wealth is at the end, by the way. So for those that say, skip to that now, Shay, we'll get to it. But what's going on, Dr. Darlene? How are you doing today?
All is well, and I'm excited to be able to share with everyone some of my experiences, and hopefully it'll be able to help catapult someone into their next place that they want to be.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. Some people I never get a chance to meet in person, to get a chance to meet you. And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, and inviting us into your home, onto your computer, or maybe we're on your phone, or maybe you're watching us on the big screen, whatever. Thank you for being here, by the way. Let's jump right into, I guess, be the question on everybody's mind. They might be wanting to know what Shay and the LL Cool J is the Freedom Blueprint. Like when you think about spiritual, relational, and financial wealth, well, at the end of the day, what does that really mean? And that's the question. What does it mean to be free financially, free spiritually, or free financially?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about it, because first, let me kind of talk about what it means to not be free.
I like
So
that.
I think that in order for you to be able to understand that you're not free is when you have things that you don't have any control over. That's really when you're not free. You don't have control over the things that are happening in your finances. You don't have control over the things that are happening in your relationships. You're kind of on autopilot, right? And so, and once you understand that things are kind of on autopilot in your life, and you say this is just not good enough for me, and the things that I want to do, and you have vision, and you don't know how to get to it, then you begin to plan. You begin to plan how you can get from where you are to that place where you are fulfilled. Because there's freedom in fulfillment. So when I think about it from a spiritual standpoint, so I'm a pastor as well as an executive, and I speak different places. So, but there was a time when I had a job that honestly I wasn't fulfilled in. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't making any money. I had a lot of I had a situation. I had situations where really I lost a house. I lost a car. It's like I was really on autopilot, and things life was happening to me instead of me impacting life. And so I had to make some decisions. Was I going to stay right where I was, or was I going to make some steps and changes in my life to be able to get to a place of freedom? So freedom for me from a spiritual standpoint, of course, it's knowing, it's walking in the Lord, it's moving in the Lord, it's really being at peace with where I am in my life. From a relation standpoint, it's really not being bound by what other people do. And I know I actually had a conversation today with someone. They were kind of telling me about we had a conversation about fear. And I was telling them that I don't want to be bound by fear. I don't want to say I don't want to do something because I'm afraid to do it. I want to just do it. If it's something that I feel like something that I've been called to do, or something I've been purposed to do, I don't want all the little barriers and obstacles to from doing it. I want to be free. You won't know what happens unless you step past your fear and you do it. So there's a freedom in stepping past fear. There's a freedom in being in a place where you don't allow the things of life or things that people say keep you from doing things that you feel like you're purposed to do. And I think how it kind of set into my ministry is that they're I get an opportunity, a privilege really, to minister to a lot of people and talk to people about different hurts and traumas they've had in their life. I've talked to people that have said people have told them that they couldn't be certain things, they couldn't do certain things, that they didn't have what was necessary in order to be able to be successful in your life. And then when they have opportunities, that those words are ringing in the back of their mind, and it keeps them from moving forward. Well, that's bondage. Those words, those things that people have said about you are bondage. When really, if you press past that, then you can see your freedom. You can see your freedom. Even if what it is that you're pressing into isn't anything that you're necessarily your life purpose, just the fact that you press past the words that you were told, and then press past the fact that someone told you that you couldn't do something or be something, that's freedom. That's freedom.
And as you were saying that, a quick question. I mean, you're giving a great backstory, giving us a great background. What are some signs for the entrepreneur that's watching right now that they may be growing a successful business along the way, which is amazing, but they're losing peace, purpose, or more importantly, relationships? What are some signs they should be looking for?
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you for me, what I found. So let me give you a little bit about my businesses. One of the business that I have, and this will kind of be a segue for, in the freedom discussion, is that I always wanted to get into real estate. Always wanted to do it. But the reason why I didn't initially is because I was thinking about what happened if the deal fell through. What happened if I lost the money that I put into it? What happens if I engage with someone that's not integral? Um, but when you get in order for me to be able to step into real estate, I had to not let those things keep me from doing it, right? So you do have to walk in wisdom. So you want to make sure that when you are having engagements with those, that their relationships that are aligned with you, and so you want to make sure that that's happening. So if you're in business with someone, you want to be able to one, make sure that those persons are lined up with your values. You and if they're not, you want to see whether or not that's a relationship that you want to be in.
I
Okay.
like that. And what makes it unique is you've been both a pastor, which you are, and a wealth strategist, or at least in the ministry, and a wealth strategist. How did you,
Mhm.
at what point did you come to see, I'll say, or realize that faith and finances can go hand in hand? They don't have to be separate over here and separate over there. Was there a point in your life where something happened that gave you that revelation?
So yeah, so let me tell you. So I grew up without. I grew up without. I'm the youngest child of a single mom. I have four older brothers, and I grew up without. And so, and my mother never really had the knowledge to be able to teach me about finances. She didn't. So I kind of learned some things by trial and error. Um, in my young 20s, I a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that just led to really bad money habits. And I knew that wasn't the place for me. I had seen it, the bad place, but I had also saw where there were people that were very successful. And so I wanted that. So I can say in my mid 20s was when I identified it, but it wasn't until my 30s that I said, okay, I got to do something different because this living a life without is not for me. Um, and then initially, the way that I started to kind of impact my finances was, okay, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to get the degrees, and then I'm going to get a good job. So I did that. Okay, I went to school, I got the degrees, I got a good job, and actually make really good money. But one thing I realized in the job, that for the wealth that I desire to have, not just for me, but in order to be able to do my kingdom work, I needed to be positioned where I could just do what I needed to do. So my husband and I, we call ourselves kingdom financiers. We spoke that before it was actually part of our lives. But we know now that when the kingdom needs something, that we're able to finance that. So, and we try to teach our people that when you gain wealth, because the Bible tells us, I'm sorry, I'm a pass, I got to give you this. The Bible says that God has given us the ability to gain wealth. So what does that mean? If it's in the Bible, then it must be true. So that means that I have to try to figure out what is it that God has placed in my hands in order to be able to gain wealth. And because the kingdom is what it is, once it's in my hand and I know how to gain wealth, it's not just for me to buy the big house. It's not just for me to have the nice car. Those things are nice to have, but it's also for me to be able to help others to be able to build the things that they're building for the kingdom. So that transition, and for those of us, and I'm sorry, I preach this all the time. So I actually preach financial one-on-one classes because I feel like we all need to learn from the very beginning. How do you do a budget? What are the different things that are components of your credit score? Um, what type of investments do you need to make? What do we know about 401k? We all know that we're supposed that you put money into 401k, but what is it really doing for you versus a Roth IRA? All those different types of things. I teach those things in my financial 101 class, but really we all need to know those things. We all need to know those things in the kingdom and out the kingdom. We all need to know those things. But I realized that in the kingdom that I'm not necessarily supposed to not be able to do kingdom work. I always tell our people, we have a church over in India, and I always tell our people, if God calls you right now and says that you're supposed to go to another continent to do missions, but you don't have enough money to buy a plane ticket, that's the problem. We should be postured to be able to do the work. Excuse me, to be able to do the work of the kingdom. So that's where the two kind of.
And as you were saying, the work of the kingdom, it does take money to finance the kingdom, and I get that. And your lifestyle. Let's try to help a couple of folks out there. We're going to talk to two type of individuals. First, I'd like for you to talk to the person out there that's saying, Shay, all this sounds great. I want to get there financially. I've been struggling. Maybe they've been on track, off track, maybe a medical issue. Maybe you just like me at one point, you just spent more than you made. Okay. I'm sure I'm the only one like that. The rest of y'all has some serious problems.
Yeah,
But so I'm going to ask her if she'll give you maybe 2 or 3 things that you can do to start getting back on track from a wealth perspective. That'll help you from a mindset perspective. And then we'll
right.
come to the other group in a minute. And those are folks out there, maybe you got the security. You're like, look, Shay, I'm good. I've got 6 months in the bank. I've got savings. I got my mortgage up to the next year. I've got some 401k or some investments or some properties. And that's the independent level, but I'm trying to get to that wealthy level. Like, what are some things I should be looking at right now in the market? Because, I need my money to make more money. So first, we'll slow down, and I'm going to ask her, just from a wealth perspective, to talk to the person that needs to get back on track. What's 1 or 2, maybe 3 things you would recommend? And I know it's a loaded question because, there's a lot of you watching,
Yeah.
but she'll do her best.
So I think one of the first things is that if you're, regardless of where you are financially, let's say for instance that you are struggling, because I've been there. I've struggled and not had. But one thing I realized, and I think you said this, Chase, is that you can't spend more than you have, right? And so you have to really take inventory of what you have. You have to take inventory. And if necessary, get more income. I tell my children, I have 3 grown children. I always tell them, if you have a plan in place to be able to get to a certain place financially, execute the plan, but put a time frame around it. So I tell my daughter, you want to get a part-time job so you can get to, there's some certain things, some bills you need to pay off, some things you need to do. Guess what? Put an expiration date to it. Don't just start it and do it, because then that part-time job becomes it becomes your new salary, your new ongoing salary, and then you can never taper back from it. So therefore, it becomes your salary, and it also takes up your time from other things that you might be aspiring to do. So that's the first thing. Take inventory of where you are. If you need additional money, get yourself a part-time job or do something online. There are plenty of online things that you can do. And I have to say, write a book. I bought my books. I wrote 2 books And honestly, I wrote them. One is called Free Indeed, and one is called Live. It's a Live Free journal. I didn't write them to make money, but I wrote them because I wanted people to see that there is a story in you, and that people will actually want to hear your story. And I wanted to share my story. My story is not anybody else's. It may not be anybody else's, but there is a story in every one of us, and you can write a book and tell someone your story. Someone will listen to you. So you have to kind of really take the inventory and then see what are some of the things. What do you have in your hand that you can do to make additional money? So that, I think those things would be the first things that I would say. If you're in a place where you really just, I don't have, I need to get, I got this collector on my hands, I got this. It's really that you have to be strategic with it. You do. And I'd love to say that manna would drop out the sky, but it's not going to do that. You got to be strategic with it, but you can't go someplace when you don't know where you currently are. And
I
then
love that, by the way. I love that. And as you were speaking, you've got 30 years in the business, by the way. You've done the ministry, you've done healthcare, you've done finance. What do you see the big difference is between being, I'll use the word successful, and being free? And you kind of opened up kind of talking about your own journey in that regard. But for someone that's looking, saying, man, what's the difference between being successful and being free? If I'm successful, am I free? Can you talk to them, please?
absolutely I can. And then I'll go back to your last question, but this is
Oh yeah, I
actually
got them.
really into me. I am successful in my career. I am. I'm successful in my career. I'm free in my business. I always tell those that I work with that I do my job for a living. I do everything else for life. They're two different things. And so if I feel like what I do for a living helps to fund the other things that are in my life that make me successful. I had the foundation to start our real estate business because of what I did successfully during the day. But eventually, the goal is to transition from what's allowing you to make a living so that you can transition completely into what gives you life. So that's the difference in the two. Um, and let's be really honest with you. Jobs were never made to make people wealthy. I They were never made to make people wealthy. They aren't. Um, you they will tell you how much you deserve to be paid. They will give you more work and maybe not give you more income. But when you work for yourself and you're in purpose, because I think that in being in purpose is important. I feel like you're in purpose, Jay. Um, when you work for
Thank you.
yourself and you're in purpose, um, then you will work hard at it. You will work hard at it. You will be happy at it. You'll find joy in it. That's the freedom and being. And I'm gonna tell you, there are people that work jobs that they're happy. They're happy and they might be happy, but I can't necessarily say I've found any that are just full of joy. There might be some. There might be some. I don't doubt it. There might be some, but and that might they may feel like their job is their purpose. But for most people, people work in their job so that they can make money to be able to make a living. But you don't want to just live. You want to thrive. You want to be full of joy every day. You want to wake up and say, "How am I going to get this done today?" You want to have joy in it. And so that's the difference between the making the living and being free in what you're doing.
Well said. And I know there's a group out there. We did not forget about you, by the way. She's going to come back. I'll frame the question. And you're like, Shay, she's a wealth specialist. She's also in ministry. She brings the two together really, really well, understands business. You're like, okay, Shay, life's okay for me. I'm going to say they got the security. That means, you'll be okay if something happens, at least financially for a year or two. But now you're like, what should I be looking at in the market now? What should I be doing? Maybe you've got a few pieces of property, you've got a 401k, or maybe you got another retirement, you got some financial investments. And she's not a financial advisor on this call, but she might say, here's some things you should be looking at. Because she understands it. So she does work with both groups. You don't just work with folks who are trying to get security. She works with folks who have independence and are looking for more joy, more satisfaction, more money. Speak to that group. What are maybe one or two or three things you would recommend to that group that's watching right now?
Yeah, so the two things that are, I believe, are really important to take you from this place to that place is real estate and investing. Those are the two things. You know, I understand. I feel like I'm secure too, and I think secure is can be a moving target. And so the one thing about security is that you don't want to just focus on security. You don't want to just focus and say, I'm secure. I got 6 months in the bank. Because I know from experience that 6 months can go fast. I've been unemployed, and so I know that 6 months can go fast. And so you want to make sure that you are taking your money and you're being wise with it. What are you investing it in, or are you just spending it so that you can live a certain way? What are you investing in? What people are you investing in? And also with real estate. So we started some a few years back doing house flips, and that we've been successful with it, right? But what we want to do is we're moving now into multifamily dwellings, and we're doing that. Yes, it is a way to be able to make additional money, but also too, when I said what are you investing in, we want to be able to give, to not give, but we want to be able to have it so that people can afford housing, and we have the ability to do that, as well as make ourselves in postured in a financial secure place, if you will. So I would say real estate and investing are the two things that you need to, and I would say, can I say this for my youngsters?
Sure.
Start in your 20s. Start investing $100 a month in your 20s. Start it then. Make it a habit for you. That was something that I didn't do. I didn't find that out until later on. Start investing while you're young. And if you're older, guess what? It's not too late. It's not too late. It's not too late for you to be able to take your finances, be wise about it. Guess what? Get some counseling on what to do. Get an advisor that will show you how to do it. It is not too late.
It is not too late. And that's comforting to know for everyone that's listening right now. You can hear her passion. You can hear how excited she is, by the way. Even talking about this, your eyes start lighting up. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing right now? I mean, it can't just be the money, but I'm sure it doesn't sound like it. So, what do you enjoy most about the mission that you're on right now?
I think it's seeing people move from a place of disparity to a place where they can say their life is going well. I think that's the most joy I get out of it, when you teach people and they get it, and for me, I feel like that's generational. If you teach someone something and they actually teach it to their children, and so you can see you're making an impact, not just with that one person, but you're making it with their family. And I think that's important for me. Money is good, but I heard someone say, and I can't recall who said it, but they said you could, if you understand about money, you could lose all your money and you can earn it back again, right? So it can't just be money. It has to be the people. It has to be the people whose lives you're impacting, and it has to be the people who you see turn around and make changes in their own life. I can say for me, it's like I don't when I said to my family that we're going to be the first millionaires, I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family. They kind of look at you crazy because that's not, ways that we talk. But yeah, I speak that. I speak that so that my children will know that they can be millionaires as well. And like I said, it's not about the money, but it's about the mindset that I can live free. I can live free. And there is a blueprint for it. There is a blueprint for it.
What a blessing that is. Well, you're not out saving the world, helping people be financially free, spiritually free, relational free. What does fun look like for you these days?
So actually, I actually just came back from Hawaii. So so I
Ah, nice,
travel.
nice.
My fun that I do is my husband and I, we love to travel, and we do quite a bit of it. We structure our lives. We do. Our lives are structured. Um, not down to the point where I feel like I can't move, because I like I said, I travel quite a bit. We just came back from Hawaii. I've been to Dubai. I've been to London. I've been to France. I've been to oh gosh, I've been a lot of places. I've been a lot of places. So that's what I do for fun, and I have an amazing husband. I can't do a any interviews without mentioning him. I have an amazing husband as my travel partner and my business partner. We do and my ministry partner. And so we have a lot of fun just kind of being with one another and doing the things that we do. And can I tell you something? That when you see
Yes.
people's lives change, when you see people's lives change, there's fun in that too. It is.
Well, you can tell you love what you're doing. As we come down the home stretch, a two-part question. Number one, what type of clients is your firm looking to work with these days, if any? I'm not sure if you're taking on any clients. And number two, how can folks best connect with you? They're like, I like what I'm hearing. I like to stay in this conversation. Is there a website? Can they follow you on social media? What should they do?
Yeah, so clients, I primarily do consultations with C-suite level, but I also, as I said, I do my Finance 101 classes, and all of that information is on my website, darlenemacashan.com. So they can access my website, and all my other information is on there as well. But my IG is at dmacashan, and my Facebook is Dr. Darlene, and they can reach me in all those spaces, and I would love to be able to chat, if it's only but to just kind of encourage them to be able to move forward.
But let me say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Can't wait to connect with you or your husband again in person again soon. So thank you so much.
And thank you. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, well, we don't have a show. So we appreciate you showing up, being a part of this. Please pay this message forward. Share it to someone else, whether it works for you or someone else. Be someone that pays and helps someone else. With that being said, thanks for joining. God bless, and keep doing God's work. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye-bye, darling.
Bye.